सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. I welcome everyone who have come to the temple as well as who are online. Today is 13th of January, one day before the Makar Sankranti, very very auspicious day. So today on 13th January 2024, we are going ahead with our study on Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Today is a concluding day for the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga Nama Dvitiyo Adhyaya. We are going to conclude on the Sankhya Yoga. It is really a happy moment to to see that we have already reached the end of the second chapter. Second chapter is the longest chapter in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, 72, one of the longest. So, and we are going to complete the Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is not discussed in length by many people. Very few people really talk about this, and Sankhya Yoga has got a lot of applicability in today's perspective. So let us recap and let us see what we did in the last session as well as in the total Sankhya Yoga. So I'll chant the sloka which we took last time. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumans charati nispruha Nirmamo nirahankara sashanti madigacchati. Last time we saw this one, that pumans charati, when a human being is acting and going around in the world as nispruha, nirmama and nirahankara. These three things. Nispruha, no desires, untouched. Nirmama, not the owner, but given, and the prasad which we talked in detail, and then nirhankara, the ego part of the life. And we saw that we cannot remove the ego, because ego is the reason for our birth. Ego is the reason why we are born. We cannot be born if there is no ego. So ego is there and we cannot remove it, but nirhankara here means the diluted one. We have to dilute it. And nirmama, so we talked about it in detail last time, and we took some examples of Radha and Krishna, and we took example of the land size, watching the land size from aeroplane, and all those kind of things we saw. So, and then going further, we took the 72nd slok, and we stopped over there, and I will chant the 72nd slok. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuyati Sthitva Syamantakaalepi Brahma Nirvanam Ruchyati. This is what we stopped at, and we discussed it a brief, but we will go in little detail about it. So what is Brahma Nirvana? What is Brahma Nirvana? Brahma Nirvana means we will go somewhere, we will be not dying, we will be in heaven, we will be with the God, we will not be reborn. What is Brahma Nirvana? And we took it last time in a little bit detail about Brahma Nirvana. Is also explained in the same sloka. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Prapta Partha. Esha Brahmi Sthiti. It is a situation. It is a psychological situation of a human being. Remember, and we will talk about it again, that Pumans Charati Nisva. Pu is a base word, जिसे हिंदी में धातु शब्द कहते हैं. धातु is a base word, like lacto is a base word for all the milk and milk product. Similarly, pu is a dhatu shabda, and pu represents the human beings. Pu doesn't represent the animals or birds. So pumans charati nispruha, the person who is going around like this with nispruha, nirmama and nirhankara will be attaining a Esha Brahmi Sthiti Prapta. He will attain the Brahmi Sthiti. Yeah, it is a position. It is a intellectually set and situation of a human being. That is Brahmi Sthiti. It is not that a person will go above or below or in heaven or anywhere, and also it is not a reward. So there are so many things, and we will talk about it in a while here. So it is not a reward. It is not something which is given as a return in behavior. See, the whole thinking about the heaven and hell is based on the reward, the carrot and stick. In Sankhya, there is no carrot and stick. We will understand the Sankhya in detail, but let me just complete about this sloka, and then we will see what we have come to and what is Sankhya is for. That is today's objective over to complete it in 1 hour. Very challenging to conclude, but we'll try to do that. So, Esha Brahmi Sthiti Prapta, the person will attain a situation, a person will be having a psychological status in the mind, which is Brahmi Sthiti. Means, here Brahmi doesn't mean Brahman. It's not related to the caste, it's not related to Varna Vyavastha. Brahmi Sthiti means one who is a creator. Just like a creator has got all the creation with equal value. Kutte ko, gadhe ko, sher ko, admi ko. There is no injustice. For a creator, that is why the creator of the world is named as a Brahma. One who has got the equal. Yeah. Even in our Puranas also, we see that. Brahma, the Deva and Daitya. Dev and Asur, Dev and Rakshas. They are both kids of Brahma. The creator doesn't discriminate and distinguish between creations. So Brahmi Sthiti means at that level you will not be having any discrimination, any choices or hatred for anyone. That is Brahmi Sthiti. That will be attained. That is why when you attain this, there is no likes or dislikes. This is the psychological situation. Nainam prapya vimuyati. And vimuyati will never be deluded again. Nainam, never. Stitvam stantrupa antakalepi. So here we talked about 2 words, antakalepi, and we talked about the Brahma Nirvana. Brahma Nirvana doesn't mean that we will be, also Brahma Nirvana doesn't mean that we will not be reborn. See, the whole cycle of rebirth is connected to our desires and what we wanted to do but we couldn't do, either good or bad. That is the reason why we are reborn. Brahma Nirvana doesn't mean that we will not be reborn. So this is also to be understood. It's like in between situation. We cannot, it is not that abhi sab ho gaya, I am done and I will not be coming to the world, or I will not be reborn, or I will not be doing anything and my Atma will be lean with the Paramatma. No, it's not like that. Brahmi Sthiti is a psychological situation of a human being on the surface of the earth or wherever he or she is. But for a human being, because Pumans Charati, remember, this is not for, so Sankhya is not for animals. And here we say, animals means those who walk on 4 legs or who fly in the sky and all that. No, animal means one who is believing that my body is myself. If my body is myself, that is the understanding, then you are an animal. This is the definition of animal. Definition of animal is not only limited to one who is walking on 4 legs. Or 6 legs or whatever. Definition of animal is that one who is believing that my body is me. That is animal. So Pumans Charati, a human being is considered when a person is thinking that he is not the body, he is a different person. Body is just given to me. And we talked about it, and Brahma Nirvana. So Brahma Nirvana will not be, it is a fully developed intellect. Soul. That is where the Brahma Nirvana comes in. And we talked about 2 schools of thoughts during this last time session. One school of thought is thinking that because I am not the body, I should not be working on it and just leave everything, go to the forest, abstain from all the material world and all that. And we talked about it, and then we also discussed that how much wrong impact does it do on the society. Living everything will not make society happy. It will not make ourselves happy as well as the society happy. And we took the example of Buddhism and the situation of in Afghanistan and all. We should not be living there. Another part is that why God has made it also. So there's another argument on it. And the second school of thought that the body is eternal, not eternal. It is it is going to die one day. So enjoy whatever you can. Yeah, abuse the body. Take it to the maximum. That is another school of thought. But Sanatan is a Sanyam in between. Now you should not be doing either of that. And we talked about the segment throat and also Charvak on that. So coming back, and now we will look at the word Antakalepi. Antakal. Yeah, Antakal means what? Dying. Everybody think that my Antakal is when I die. And we talk also in our general language also, we talk that Antakal mein unko ye yaad aaya, Antakal mein he told like this. So we think that life, our death is Antakal. But as we see in the Sankhya Yoga, it is not Antakal. It is not Antakal. Antakal here means what? Here it is told. Yeah, in Hindi we can say, ये पार्थ ये ब्राह्मी स्थिति है, इसे प्राप्त कर पुरुष मोहित नहीं होता. मोह्यति. अंतकाल में भी इस निष्ठा में स्थिर होकर ब्रह्म निर्वाण को प्राप्त होता है. तो अंतकाल means what? When the antakal, if there is if we think that my antakal is at the end of my present body, then the science of rebirth is not matching with it. Because not many people, like out of millions of people, maybe 1 or 2 people can attain Brahmi Sthiti. Only 1 or 2 people, maybe, Sahasrasu Kashchidat, it will come in sloka here. Yeah. In thousands and thousands of persons, maybe 1 person will attain. So what will happen to the other person? If it is a Antakal, then there is the end, and then the whole theory or so-called theory of hell and heaven will come in picture. Sankhya doesn't say, see, in the whole Sankhya Yoga, is there a single word about hell or heaven? No. There is not even a word about God. Bhagwan bhi nahi hai yahan. So Antakal here in Sankhya means what? Which is my Antakal? The death of my body is Antakal. The end, the seizure of my existence is Antakal. Which Antakal here Sankhya Yoga is talking about? Yeah. Sthitva asya Antakalepi. This person is Sthitva at Antakalepi at the end. Which Antakal? When is our Antakal coming? That is to be thought. When, see, this single thought of that I am going to be having not the end of my existence will not be at the end of my body. This sentence has to be really, nailed down, written on the stone in our mind. The end of my body doesn't mean the end of myself. My existence is not dependent on my present body. This one thought is enough to purify the whole society. Only one sentence. Gita has got like 700 slokas. Even one sentence from Sankhya, this one, is enough that my body, end of my body, is not end of myself. What will come out of it? Number one part is responsibility. For the Rakshasa, for those kind of people who are with the material, they think, मजा करो, जितना हो सकेगा करो, बाद में मर जाएंगे, उसमें क्या है, मरने के बाद क्या? I am not responsible. Whatever I am doing, I just enjoy, and then I will die one day. But if you are told you are responsible for your deeds and you have to come as a rebirth, imagine, you cannot escape. You are answerable. what will happen? People will not behave irresponsibly. Similarly, the greed and the hatred of hell and heaven, it will also go, because there is nothing to, nowhere to go. कहीं जाना नहीं है, सब यहीं करना है, कहीं जाना नहीं है. Once you know that you are answerable and you have to pay for your deeds. Here, even though you are dying, you will come back again. When you know about it, how much, the purification of society, eventually, slowly, the people will understand. The whole society will purify. That is why Sankhya Yoga is one of the method. We are going to talk about that also. Sankhya Yoga is one of the method. Out of so many yoga, why did Bhagwan told Sankhya Yoga first? That is also a question we are going to handle. Okay, so let us go further. Today is a very quick day for me also. So the Antkal doesn't mean that it is not the end of my body. Another side of that same thought is there is a hope. Suppose there is a person who has done all the bad things in the world and the person realizes at the end of the life, end of the body, oh my God, I did so many wrong things now. If there is no rebirth, if there is no second chance, then the person will be eternally in hell. How much that person will be having an agony in the mind while dying. Repentance, agony, sad, depressed. How much? Because he is told that you have got no more chance. But the rebirth gear tells, no worries. Next time you come and you improve. So here the Antkal means what? See, we have not to forget the point. So when will be the Antkal then? Antkal will be when I die? No. Okay, when I rebirth? No. So Antkalepi means God wants to say which Antkal? Ant kiska? Kiska Ant? Whose end? Antkalepi. So here the Ant of desires, the cycle of our rebirth, the cycle of our existence coming in and out is because of our desires. It is because of our, what I will say, the incomplete task. It is because of our incomplete task. ये करना रह गया, मन में मोह माया वो सब रह गया. क्रोध भी, किसी ने मुझे इंजस्टिस किया था, मैं उसका बदला नहीं ले सका, दूसरे जन्म में आएगा बदला लेगा. दूसरे जन्म में आएगा बदला लेगा. Will be reborn and come as an enemy. Yeah, that is what happens. So here Antkal means end of those things, the desire, the hatred, the love. Even love, the greed, mera bacha. We have got a story, many stories actually, that there was a sage and he was he abstained from everything, but then he was living in the forest, and then there was a deer who was moving around in the ashram. So he was taking care of deer, they were staying, living together. Deer is in the, veranda or like that, and he is living in ashram. He got engrossed in the love of the deer. So it may not be only other human beings or material world, it may be animals. We see so many people, they are crying when their dog dies. They love their dog more than their own kids. They love them. Nothing wrong in it. I am not telling it is wrong, but I am telling that these are the incomplete desires which lead us to the next birth. So here the end of desires, it is the end of desire which is Antkal. That is Antkal. End of desires. So what will happen? It is not the end of life or end of cycle of rebirth. It is the end of desire, and what happens when the desires go away? The pain, the misery, the complexes which are created because of the desire is gone. That is Ant. Ant means end kiska. Ant kiska. end of these things, that is Antakale. Not the bodily ending. Not the bodily ending. So after so many rebirths and understanding of oneself beyond the body and beyond the material position, after so many, till we reach this state of intellect, till we reach this understanding in our mind, that is Antakal. The Antakal here is ending of those things, and that is why Antakalepi Brahma Nirvana Mruchati. Brahma Nirvana Mruchati. When this understanding will come, then Brahma Nirvana hoga. Yes. Brahma Nirvana ko प्राप्त होता है. Which is the supreme abode of God. That is Brahma Nirvana in English, which is very, very incomplete definition. Yeah. So, from the cycle of the life, the end will be there. Now, so somebody will ask, aha, that means if I really attain this, that means I will not be reborn. General understanding given by other people also is that एक बार आप निर्वाण में गए ना तो वापस आपको जन्म लेना नहीं पड़ेगा. जन्म मरण के बंधन से छूट जाएंगे. जन्म मरण का बंधन means what? The person will not be reborn. The person will be reborn. The person will come. But because once you develop the understanding, you will never indulge into it. You will never be deluded by it. And that is what is the Antakalepi and Brahma Nirvana Murchati. We have to understand this. Because this sloka is sometimes misrepresented as मरने के समय पे उसको ब्रह्म निर्वाण हो गया. It's not that easy and it is not that physical. It is a psychological status a person achieves after maybe so many births, because you always get your intellect when you are reborn, just like you get your desires and hatreds and everything together. You are also born with the intellect. It will come in the further chapters. So when we are born with those intellect, we will eventually come to an end of the desires, end of this hatred, the greed and all that. And that is Antakalepi Brahma Nirvana Mruchati. Then we will attain. Richati means attain. And Brahma Nirvana is liberation from Maya. All this thing which is called as a Maya. In a very simple word. So then we will be coming out of it, and we will be having a status of Brahma Nirvana. We will be having a status of a very steadfast, stable intellect. And it will not be ending of the cycle. We will be reborn again, but we will be reborn to do the work. Now, instead of we coming due to our desires and all, it is somebody sending us to the surface of the earth. Go and do this. Explain the same thing to your brothers and sisters. Explain the message. That is why they are still reborn. So somebody say that, oh, Brahma Nirvana or Antakal mein pahunch gaya, then I will not be having any, rebirth and all. No, we will be still having rebirth. We will be still on the surface of the earth or anywhere in the planet, in the universe. But we will not be deluded. We will not be immersed. That is what is that. Or that is the lotus flower in the hands of Ma Lakshmi. That is the lotus flower. Once you become a lotus flower, you will not be touched by the water. You attain a quality. That is Brahma Nirvana Mruchati. And Antakalepi means end of these things. Very, very important point. I would like to say that in Hindi because it is very challenging to explain it in English with those important words. So I will use it. यह एक बौद्धिक स्थिति है. It is a psychological situation. It is an intellectual situation. यह एक बौद्धिक स्थिति है जिसको सांख्य योग के द्वारा ज्ञान और समझ से प्राप्त करने के बाद व्यक्ति बंधनों से छूट जाता है और निस्पृह, निर्ममा और निरंकार होकर अपना जीवन कर्म करता है. Remember, the Puman Charati, Pumas charati. The human is still charati. He is still moving around in the world. He is not gone. That is what is happening. हाँ, जीवन कर्म करता है. यह व्यक्ति वही कर्म करते हुए दिखाई देगा जो हम करते हैं. When you see physically, you will never find the difference between that person and yourself. वो भी शादी बनाएगा, वो भी बच्चा पैदा करेगा, वो भी गाड़ी चलाएगा, वो भी खाना खाएगा, वो भी एंजॉय करेगा, वो भी घर में रहेगा. No difference you can see from external. मगर वह बंधनों में लिप्त न होने के कारण मुक्त हो जाता है, जिसे ब्राह्मी स्थिति कहते हैं. ब्राह्मी स्थिति मीन्स he is mukta, he is free, freedom. यह व्यक्ति ब्रह्म में निर्वाण हुआ ऐसा कहते हैं. ब्रह्म में जुड़कर चरती दुनिया में घूमता है. So with Sankhya Yoga, this is what we attain. In Sankhya Yoga, so let us understand the Sankhya Yoga, and we will talk about it in next remaining around half an hour. So let us first of all understand here about Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya Yoga is, see here what came, one of my friend told me, I recollect him around 6 months ago. He told me that Gita means, everything is always repeated, same. I don't know the difference between all the chapters. So it is very important that when we are at the end of the Sankhya Yoga, let us understand what is inside the Sankhya Yoga and what is not inside the Sankhya Yoga. That will make us a better understanding of the path of Sankhya Yoga. Because this is one of the paths to attain the Brahmisthiti. It is very important. Just like in GPS, we are given 4 or 5 different routes that how you reach. This is one of the route. It is very important. Very few people really go in detail with this route. There are reasons and what it is. So here what is not there? Here there is no bhakti. Now, कहीं भी भगवान का नाम लो, पूजा करो, प्रार्थना करो, होम करो, हवन करो, यज्ञ करो, कुछ भी नहीं. There is no bhakti, there is no home havan, there is no karmakand, there is no yajna. There is a yajna, actually we will come to that, but this yajna is not the physical yajna which we do. That is Sankhya Yoga. There is nothing like that. It is a psychological process. There is no physical. There is nothing where, अरे ये इधर फूल चढ़ाओ, गंगा में जाके नहाओ, nothing. Sankhya Yoga says nothing on it. It doesn't say to do that. Now, home, havan, fasting karo, bhajan gao, murti puja karo, nothing, no idol worship. That is Sankhya. We have to understand what is Sankhya. So let us, recap that why did the Sankhya told. But before that, because we are completing the this sloka, the end of the chapter, let us try to recap why the Sankhya Yoga came in picture in the discussion, and why did the God told Sankhya Yoga first. The first method of attaining a Brahmisthiti to Arjuna. So what happened as we recap, that Arjuna was sad. Yes, Arjuna Vishad. Arjuna Vishad Yoga Nama Prathamo Adhyaya. Arjuna is unhappy. Arjuna is sad. Why? 2 reasons. One, he has to kill the relatives. And second reason, because of so many men dying, there will be a disturbance in the society and the people mind. 2 reasons. We already studied it. Right? Death of so many people will cause the population of women increase, and that will create an issue, the perversion, resulting in the loss of bunch and loss of culture and values. That is the 2 problems which Arjuna was having, and that is why it is a Arjuna Vishad Yoga. So the answer from Bhagwan, the whole Sankhya Yoga, what did he say? One by one. So first he told that there is nothing like a death. Now, you think that you are a body, but there is an illusion. You are not a body. That is the first one. All the living passes through the phase of birth, youth, old, and death. The death of each is inevitable. Whatever, whoever is born is going to die, and that is why it is not a matter of grief. The second one is, we are not the material world, but we are spirit inside. You are not the body. You are the one who is residing in the body. So, losing the body is not a problem. And the one who is residing never dies. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka. It cannot be burnt, it cannot be dried, it cannot be, poked through with a weapon, and it takes the rebirth. Hence, death is not the end, and that is why it is not a matter of sorrow or grief. Then there is a continuity of life, birth, death, and that is the continuity of life. That is what is explained. And then he told Atma na marti hai. It cannot be killed, burnt, dried, or drowned. Then Atma just takes the form from one body to the other body and shape, and hence there is no again a reason of grief. Natvam shochitum arhasi. Natvam shochitum. If you remember the sloka, it is good to remember sometimes. If you do not remember the sloka, if you cannot, just remember that small part of it. It is also very good. Natvam shochitum arhasi. Natvam shochitum arhasi. We got the slokas like that, right? Natvam shochitum. There is no reason to grieve. There is no reason to be sad. So, what is that? What is to be done? It is the duty of a person to work and do the action with the qualities they are born. This is a very important part. The quality which he or she is born to do the duty as per your quality. If you are intellect, you serve the society with your intellect. That is why there is nothing wrong in becoming a celebrity. But once you become a celebrity, how much useful you are to the society? Or you just become a model to sell more beauty products. God has given you beauty for something else, not to sell more products and earn more money from it. Similarly, intellect, similarly, power, money, everything. So Arjun is a warrior. So that is why he is supposed to fight the just war. न्यायिक जो सच्ची चीज है उसके लिए लड़ना उसका काम है. Righteous war. And then, if you are dying while doing your duty, it brings a fame. And not doing the duty brings the shame. Simple. A person with the Buddhi Yoga treats happiness and distress, loss and gain equally, victory and defeat in the same way. And the person with resolute mind, now the person with resolute mind, God told, knows his duty and how to perform it, and hence focuses. Hence completely detached from the fruit. Karmane vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana. Remember, see, sometimes it is easy to remember the sloka with some trick. Like if you say, somebody asks, Karmane vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbu mate sangosta karmani. Which sloka it is? 247. Second chapter, 47th sloka. How do you remember this? Very simple. 24/7. The only sloka which I will try to remember in Gita, if it is not my capacity to remember all of them, is 247. 24/7. तो याद रखो, एक ही श्लोका कर्मणे वाधिका. भगवान ने भी वो श्लोक एग्जैक्टली टाइम पर बोला. भगवान को भी पता था ये जब आएगा टाइम आएगा, people will talk 24/7. Our company is open 24/7. We serve our customer 24/7. So remember this sloka 24/7. Karmane vadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. Remember that. Focus yourself on karma and not on the fruit. And we looked into it in great detail, because this is one of the most challenged sloka. That if I do not need the fruit, the understanding of the fruit, how will I know? If I do not know the destination, how will I drive and travel? How will I prepare for it? We talked about this sloka in a great detail. 3 sessions we took only on this one sloka, because it is the most challenged but most important sloka in the whole Gita. Of course, all of them are important, but this is one of the more easier to remember and like that. 24/7. So that is the sloka we took. And then refuge in the divine knowledge. Now the God talked about the divine knowledge. Refuge in the divine knowledge. Yes. Inside, instead of the fruit, not looking at the fruit, but looking at inside, how you look at, how you behave. That is what we talked about. And use your best skills. And never worry or tense while performing. That is what God told. And such a resolute intellect soul is inbound is by results of the karma. That result, it should result in karma. It should not result in inactiveness. So when God told that, Arjun asked, Arjun used the word. Remember, God didn't use the word. Arjun used the word Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya se ka bhasha. How does Sthita Pragya, the person who is doing like this, will walk and talk? How he will move around in the world? Arjun asked that detail. And Arjun asked for us. For us also that is the same question. Isn't it? The person who thinks that everything is useless, is mortal, then why should I be working? So a person having a thinking like that, how will he behave in the society? Sthita prakyasya ka bhasha. Vrajetaki, how will be moving around in the world? Vraja means to move, to work. Extreme activeness. Durdam kartutva is Vraja. When we say Sri Krishna lives in Vraja, means what? We'll come to that. Yeah, we have got a long way to go. So, Vraja. Vraja means what? Is it a place somewhere? Yeah, there is a place. Definitely God was born there. So then the answer that came from Bhagwan for Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya qualities is contented within and hence never get lured. He is having a completeness and that is why he never seeks. A person who has an understanding and feeling of completeness will never seek, will never need. The feeling of incompleteness will not be there. That is the number one part. One whose mind remains undisturbed amidst misery, who does not crave for pleasure, and one who is free from attachment, fear and anger is called the sage of steady wisdom. Sthita Pragya. Steady, steadfast wisdom. He is unattached to all conditions. He is neither delighted nor rejoiced, nor dejected. Sukha dukha samay krutva labha labho jaya jaya. Who doesn't have any happiness or sorrow because of the results. He knows to use his senses like a turtle. We took the example of turtle and we understood why turtle is taken in that. Where and when to use. He has total control over his senses through the perfect knowledge with the Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga Tvima Shruno. Bhagwan explained the process of attachment, desire, anger, delusion, loss of memory, destruction of intellect, and hence ruining oneself. God clearly explained us the exact mechanism. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate. A clear-cut understanding how. Sammoha. See, it is very easy. Now we can remember that, oh yeah, it was there. Slowly we practice, we can, because Gita is not only to be listened. It's very simple. Gita, it is a song. Song is not to be listened. You go to a movie. Let us take an example. We go to a movie, we hear a song. Very nice song. We like it. What do? We just hear it once and say, yeah, it was very nice song. We sing it, isn't it? The whole concept of Antakshari and all is coming from there. We sing. When there is a song, you have to sing it. Whatever way you can do, you have to sing it. Acha gao, bura gao, it doesn't make much difference. मगर गाओ. गीत गाने की चीज होती है, खाली सुनने की नहीं होती. You may be a bathroom singer, you may not sing well, but you like to sing, isn't it? Same way Gita. Gita is a गीत. गाओ, दिल खोल के गाओ. नहीं आता है तो थोड़ा थोड़ा गाओ. The person who doesn't know the raga, shastriya sangeet, any musical, any understand of music and the notes, the melodies, the rhythm, the person who doesn't understand can still sing. Why not? Because singing is for the happiness of the soul inside. And you sing. So why not to even sing the Gita? Even if you do not understand completely. That is what. So God has told that what is the mechanism? What is the mechanism of going into this ditch? Sangat Sanjay. And then we also learned that how much is what is the misunderstanding created by those words, by the people. Sangat Sanjay de Kama. Duniya chhod do. Nahi chhod sakte. You cannot leave the world. You have to do the karma. You have got a body, you have to do the karma. So that is another thing which we understood. And then Bhagwan explained us further about taking the fruits and karma as a prasad. And we took prasad in a great way. Prasad, very, very important. This word prasad is extremely important, and it's very interesting also. See, this is really, in my mind when I talk about this, it is really, those people who are intellectually thinking to study Gita, they have to think about it. In our regular life, prasad means what? भगवान की मूर्ति है, मूर्ति के सामने हमने कुछ रखा और हमने बाद में वो जो खाया वो प्रसाद. And then once the intellect little develop, we think that okay, मुझे जो घर मिला, मुझे जो ज्ञान मिला, मुझे जो बॉडी मिली, मुझे जो नॉलेज मिला, वो भी प्रसाद. चलो उधर तक भी ठीक है. But still we think we combine the prasad with the murti. We combine the prasad with the Bhagwan and the murti, isn't it? Imagine, think a little bit. Sankhya Yoga doesn't talk about Bhagwan, doesn't talk about Murti, doesn't talk about Bhakti, but still the word Prasad has come in Sankhya Yoga. The word Prasad has come in Sankhya Yoga. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani raso bajayate. Has come in Sankhya Yoga. Why? Our Prasad is connected to the Murti Puja, to the temple, to Bhagwan, to Bhakti. और फिर प्रसाद मिला, खाया, सत्यनारायण देव की जय. Whereas Sankhya, which doesn't have any of these things, is talking about prasad. The word prasad has come in Sankhya Yoga. And we try to understand this in detail. What is prasad? Why it is called as prasad? How to handle and how prasad can make everybody's life happy. Prasad brings happiness and contentedness. That is what we learned. Right? And then prasad brings a peace of mind and feeling of belonging, because somebody is taking care of me and giving me. That is why it was so. And then senses are, when the Arjuna asked, but the senses are very strong. It takes us. So God told, definitely the senses takes us away. But a person with a steadfast intellect can use the senses as desired. घोड़ा है, मजबूत है, तेज घोड़ा है, मगर उसको कंट्रोल में रख सकते हैं through the steadfast intellect. That is what God told. And he remains calm and unaltered when the senses are pushes him with the great force. वो अपने आप को कंट्रोल कर सकता है. And this situation, एषां ब्राह्मी स्थिति प्राप्त. This situation, status, condition of intellect brings the person to the liberation from the cycle of death and life. Here, that doesn't mean that there will not be death and life, but the cycle, the push which is creating, the push which is the reason for death and life will be gone. That is what it means. Esham Brahmi Sthiti Prapta. Brahman Nirvana Muchyate. That is what the sloka is. So, this is the end one, and so at the end of the chapter, we always say, so I will chant that. Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yoga Nama Dvitiyo Adhyaya. Yes, this is the end of the Sankhya Yoga, the second chapter of the Gita. Now we will also try to understand, before we start the third chapter, Karma Yoga. Before we start the third chapter, we will try to understand, because this is a path. Who can follow this path and who cannot? So the remaining 15 minutes we will try to take that. See, number one challenge for following the Sankhya Yoga, because people will say, ये तो बोल दिया, हो गया, अभी हो गया, हमने सांख्य योग समझ लिया, सीख लिया, ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's not that straightforward. See, number one challenge in following the Sankhya Yoga is that because we are material body, it is very, very difficult for most of the people to understand that I am not the body. I am the one who is residing in the body. That is very, very difficult for the people, most of the people to understand. And Sankhya is based on that. That is why Sankhya is not for everyone. This path is not for everyone. See, imagine a situation that there is a destination and we are told to reach that destination. Now we are given a path. We are given various methods to reach the destination. There is a hike and valley and mountain, and you can go through that. Then there is a ocean or river, and you can go through the boat. Then there is a road. You have to travel on a bullock cart or horse or whatever, and you go through it. Or there is a plane and you fly. There are multiple methods to reach Brahmi Sthiti. So Gita has also told so many methods. Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raj Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. So in Sankhya, because we are material body, it is very challenging for the people to grasp that I am not the body, I am one who is residing in body. So that is one of the challenge in Sankhya. So those people जो fit है वो hiking करो. The guy who is fit and strong will hike or swim through the oceans, but not for everyone. So Sankhya Yoga is for intellect people. One who thinks that they are very intellectual, for those people Sankhya Yoga is there. I am not putting here a challenge that who is more intellectual. But a person, I will use the word here, intellectual means one who is introvert. One who can think within. One who lives his life by thinking within more rather than thinking for outside. One who lives more inside than outside. For those people, Sankhya Yoga is more applicable method to go. See, if we are told, you join my company, if you go for an interview and they're told that, okay, we employ you. Once they employ you, they give an employment to you and they will say, we will not pay you. Will we take that job? We will not take that job. So in the same way, when we are told that you do the karma but you do not ask for the fruit, it is challenging for many people to understand. Yeah. Imagine there is a marriage going on. Okay, there is a marriage and there is the groom and the bride, and they are sitting there, and there's a nice happy time, and everybody is enjoying, dancing, nice food, music, very good clothes, everything is going on there. And now you go there and you say Sankhya Yoga. ये जो तू शादी कर रहा है, ये औरत एक दिन मर जाने वाली है. हाँ, जातक से ही ध्रुव मृत्यु, ध्रुव जन्म मृत्यु से. She will die. One day she will become an old person, old, ugly, crippled body. शादी करने वाले लड़के को, if you tell like that to a groom, is it a right time or a right place? It is a wrong time, wrong place and wrong person. So Sankhya Yoga is not to be told to that person at that time. So Sankhya Yoga is challenging. This is another reason why Sankhya Yoga is challenging path. Look at oneself and the soul. Also another thing is, when you look at oneself and the soul, it is an extreme dry subject. नींद आ जाती है. हाँ, भजन करने में इजी है, टिंचिक टिंचिक टिंचिक, अच्छा भजन चलेगा 2 घंटा, नो प्रॉब्लम, easy to focus and concentrate. Sankhya Yoga is challenging. You have to think, you have to become introvert, you have to think of oneself, look for the corrections, challenging. That is why Sankhya Yoga is little difficult for those people who has got a problem of focusing. And there is no material reference. This is another problem. Like idol worship. Murti puja, you have got a reference. मंदिर में गए, सामने बैठे, मंदिर के सामने भगवान जी के दर्शन किए, आनंद आ गया. We feel happy. We feel connected. We feel belonging to that. When there is an idol, Sankhya, no idol worship. Murti puja nahi hai yahan. So it is again challenging because a human being is seeing is believing. That is what is a human being is. Seeing is believing. Nowadays it is a little improved. Like when you see a cartoon character on the television, you know, I am seeing, but I am not believing. Alien आया मगर alien नहीं है, मुझे पता है. I know there is no alien. I know there is no Mickey Mouse. It is just a character on the screen. But still we make it as a murti, isn't it? We give a teddy bear to a kid, and the kid thinks that loves the teddy bear. What it is? It is a cloth and some plush. So human beings are always having a reference of material world, and Sankhya doesn't take the reference of material world, and that is one of the challenge. There is no ideal reference, and then there is no ideal as a reference also. भगवान का नाम ही नहीं है. देखो राम भगवान ने क्या किया, कृष्ण भगवान ने क्या किया. There is no reference here. In Sankhya there is no reference. It is telling you, look at yourself. So dry, you cannot have a reference. हमारा बच्चा, if your kid is not studying well, you give a reference. देखो पड़ोसी का बच्चा ना मैथ्स में कितना अच्छा मार्क लाया. The neighbor's kid is doing very well. See how much nice body he has made. He is going to gym. You should also go to gym. Reference. In Sankhya, there is no reference. You can't see. You can't explain. So Sankhya is a challenging path that way. And then every person, when we say that you do it as a duty, then there is a loss of warmth. Connection is lost. When you say only, what is the difference between a nurse and a mother? Both of them treat the sick kid equally. Rather, maybe nurse will do it more professional. Nurse will give a better medicine, a more timely everything. Isn't it? But still mother, बच्चा बीमार होता है तो माँ कहाँ है? माँ कहाँ है? I need mama. They don't look at the capacity of mama, but I need mama. Belonging. In Sankhya, there is no belonging. You are there yourself alone and doing the work. So Sankhya is challenging that way. We can definitely apply the principles of Sankhya in the time of stress and failure. कर्मणे वाधिकार से महापले जो कहते थे, wow, what a knowledge. You will never be distressed. So Sankhya is good that way. Sankhya process definitely helps the society to be less greedy and selfish. Also, remember that Sankhya talks about the Dvaita, the creator, Jeev, Jagat और Jagdish का संबंध, Jeev, Jagat और Jagdish का संबंध. The relationship between the creator, the creation and yourself, that is ourselves. That is what is Sankhya. So there is a Dvaita, but it is not visible. द्वैत कहा मगर विजिबल नहीं है. You are going to get married. Where is the bride? No, you can't see her. Well, then I am skeptical. I am confused. So creator is there, but you can't see it. You don't want to devote. भगवान का नाम ले लो, इतना जप माला करो. Nothing is told in Sankhya. That is, we have to understand what the road is. So if anybody thinks that I am a highly intellectual person, I can look into myself and I want to follow the Sankhya Yoga path, then you have to be ready for it. If you have to go through the ocean, you need a boat. If you want to fly, you need an airplane or a helicopter. So if somebody thinks that I want to do the Sankhya Yoga path, he or she has to prepare for it. And what we are talking about is to prepare for it. Each devotee is alone in his area. चलो साथ में मिलके भक्ति करते हैं. It doesn't happen. In Sankhya, you are alone. You are the only person, and you are the only person to understand yourself and work towards it. That is Sankhya. खुद को समझ के आगे चलो. There is no one next to you. So that is why Sankhya gives a feeling of loneliness to those people who cannot understand the internal intellectual part. One of the thing which I always say, I talk to my family members also, is that there is a third person in ourselves. When we talk to ourselves, say for example in Sankhya, you try to evaluate yourself. We talk to ourselves. That means what? We are not body first of all. So there is somebody and we talk. नहीं मैं ये ऐसा करूँगा, मैं वैसा करूँगा, तू ऐसा करना चाहिए, हाँ. So we tell ourselves. When we tell ourselves, in other words, there are two people. Na? When there is a communication, there are two entities. When we tell ourselves, that means me and I are different. Me and I are different. So I told me. I didn't tell I told me. I told myself. That is what we say even in our regular language also. That is what the Sankhya is hitting. Sankhya is exactly hitting that. Sankhya is talking about the communication between I and me. That is what is Sankhya. So those people who are not that much inside, who are not intellectual enough, who doesn't understand the concept of I and me within, beyond the body, it's difficult for them to go through the Sankhya path. It's difficult for them to go through the Sankhya path. And concept of prasad, I always talk about this because when there is no other, there is no murti puja, murti nahi hai, mandir nahi hai, yajna nahi hai, karma kand nahi hai, puja path nahi hai, there is no pujas. And then we talk about prasad. Because in our mind, prasad is connected to murti, prasad is connected to mandir, idol, temple, bhajan, and then bhojan, prasad. But in Sankhya there is prasad. So remember this very important part. Prasad word has come in Sankhya, which is not having the idol worship. And we have to understand, I think we discuss it in detail, but just to understand and keep it remembering every time. So the only, the nectar of happiness for a devotee, for a what we call as a one who tries to go towards the path of Sankhya, only one is prasad. When there is prasad, somebody has given it to me, and that somebody you relate, and that somebody gives the happiness to a Sankhya person. Person who is living in the Sankhya Yoga, who wants to go towards path of the Sankhya Yoga, gets one important oxygen. You are under water, but one source of oxygen under water is prasad. Prasad gives us a clear-cut relationship. A prasad gives us a belongingness. Prasad gives us a feeling of somebody is taking care of me. And that is how a Sankhya person swims through the ocean. Such a difficult or intellectual thought, such a detailed and deep intellectual understanding, such a dry subject, it feels like can be swim through with one good. Darya mein ja rahe the, when you are going in a boat and the boat sank, there is an ocean, there is water all around you, you do not see anything, but you got one piece of wood which is floating and you are holding on it. And you can still go further. One piece of wood is enough to swim through the ocean. And this prasad is the word which will make a person to swim through the ocean of Sankhya Yoga path. So prasad is very important. Okay, so the questions arises that if the life is to be continued at all the time and there is nothing eternal, then why we have to do the work? These questions arises in our mind. And that is why the same question, ये पूरी दुनिया अगर नश्वर है सब बोलते हैं मोह माया छोड़ दो. Everybody says leave moh, leave maya, leave desire. Then why do even work and live in the life? So Arjun got the same question in the mind, and that is why in the third chapter, the first sloka, we will just chant over here. The third chapter will start as a chanting. The third Karma Yoga. Atha Trutiyo Adhyaya. Arjun Vacha. ज्यायसी चेत् कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजयसि केशव व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं सीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो व्यमाप्नुयाम्. Arjuna asked the same question. What is coming to our mind? If you are telling that the intellect and living through the intellect is more important, is more the priority, then why are you kim karmani ghorema? Then why you are telling me to fight? If this world is useless, is mortal, is going to go, I will be reborn, then why you are telling me to fight? That is the question Arjuna is asking. It is already 11 o'clock. So we will talk about this question and we will go further on the third chapter, Karma Yoga Nama Trutiyo Adhyaya. So here we are going to do the namaskar to the second chapter of Sankhya Yoga, and we will continue with the third chapter, Karma Yoga, on the next Saturday, again same time, 10 to 11 at Durga temple. Till then, I wish everyone a happy weekend, and we'll meet again. Vasudevasudam Devam Kansachanoramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah.